Welcome, and it's now time to call the regularly scheduled Alexander County Board of Commissioners April 1st meeting to order. At this time, Vice Chairman Ronnie Reese will lead us in our invocation, and Commissioner Larry Yoder will lead us in our pledge.
Let's pray. Father, Lord, we come to you today, and we just ask your blessings on this meeting tonight. Give us wisdom to make wise decisions that move Alexander County forward. Thank you for each person who's came out and traveled. Protect them as they return and go their way. Pray for our emergency services and their protection, our highway patrol, sheriff's department, police department, all those who keep us safe each day, protect them. Also our county employees and all of our citizens. We just thank you for the blessings you've given to us. And would you just direct this meeting tonight? And all these things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time, we'd like to recognize our Commissioner's Choice Awards. And Lenny Rogers, if you would come forward to lead us through our process.
Okay, I just want to welcome everyone here tonight, and tonight we're going to give out our Commissioner's Choice Awards, and there are 3 different categories. There's the Individual Spark Award, there's the Overall Youth Awards, and then there's the Overall Adult Organization Awards. And these applications are all judged out of county, so they were impartial. And I'll tell you what, with Ron's running a little late, would Larry and Ronnie come down here and help me for the first section? And I think Jeff Peel's going to read the individual Spark Awards, and I'll have as you're called, just line up in front here, and I'll give you your certificate and your gift.
And as we're getting ready, I would like to say that I find these awards to be very heartfelt and very deserving for people who do such wonderful things in the community, and very appreciative of what's taken place. And certainly congratulations go out to all of our winners. Our first award tonight goes to Sam Sandifer of Alexander Central FFA. Sam drives everyone to do their best and go above and beyond their normal abilities. He makes sure the chapter helps the community in a way possible through group projects and other means. The Alexander Central FFA chapter could not do as many useful projects without him. The FFA chapter is very thankful for Sam and also thankful that he is a spark to their chapter. Congratulations, Sam. Next, we would like to recognize Peggy Davis, Extension Community Association Council. Peggy has participated in all 4 major Extension Community Association Council projects this year. And she's volunteered in many other ways, donating over 740 hours of community service in 2018. Some of her community service includes made meals for Habitat for Humanity, gave a shower for Caring Hearts, brought food for the Cooperative Christian Ministry and Midnight Food Bank, purchased and delivered Christmas gifts to needy children, visited various nursing homes, and much, much more. Peggy is truly an inspiration to all. Our next recipient is from the Midnight Community Helpers, Terry Gwaltney. Terry spends numerous hours volunteering for the Midnight Community Helpers. He comes in after hours to stock the shelves or make minor equipment repairs. He helps people load food into their car. He travels to the Second Harvest Food Bank in Winston-Salem also to help purchase food items, brings it back to the pantry, and helps unload it. Terry is a valuable asset to the Midnight Community Helpers and truly a dedicated volunteer. Congratulations, Terry. Next, for our Alexander County Community Relations Award, we'd like to recognize Paul Sink. Pastor Paul Sink is the pastor of the Taylorsville Presbyterian Church. He is an active member of the Alexander County Community Relations Committee along with several other organizations. To Paul Sink, it makes no difference in a person's religious affiliation, political party, race, nationality, or etc. He is always there when you need him. The compassion that Pastor Paul has demonstrates what Christ would like for all his children to display. Pastor Paul Sink is truly a mentor and one that is deserving to be honored because he is a true spark in this community. Congratulations, Pastor Paul. Next, from 957 Mobile Cafe, we'd like to recognize and award Dwayne Coley. Dwayne is the Mobile Cafe Tuesday group leader. Every week, with a smile and laughter, he coordinates his team on prepping, preparing, and acquiring food to serve their clientele. Dwayne goes above and beyond to make the patrons who come in receive a meal feel wanted and welcome. He helps them to have a sense of hope that people do care for them and that their well-being is important to the team at Mobile Cafe. Finally, as leader of this organization, Dwayne challenges the other members to go above and beyond their call of duty. Dwayne is definitely a big asset to the Mobile Cafe and this community. Congratulations, Dwayne Coley.
I'll get a picture with you, all of y'all. Jeff, you want to get up and come get me? Yeah, just stay here, yeah. Now, we're going to move on to our overall youth awards, and Ronnie Reese is going to read those for us.
Okay, second place, Alexander Central FFA. The purpose of the ACHS FFA chapter is to promote knowledge of agriculture and to help individuals develop leadership skills. The students also do many service projects in the school and in the county. They've went to local parks and lake shores to pick up trash, helped with ag events for elementary schools, walked the Christmas parade route, and collected food for the food pantries, grew produce and donated it to the Christian Crisis Center. We would like to thank you for your work done in 2018. Congratulations. Okay. First place, Alexander 4-H Livestock Club. The Alexander 4-H Livestock Club strives to provide youth with the opportunity to learn about agriculture, animals, and other 4-H activities. The club meets monthly for educational programs and community service projects. The club collected canned food for the local food banks, made and delivered Valentines to Valley Nursing Home residents, held a cake auction to purchase supplies for the animal shelter, and did several other projects. Congratulations to the Alexander County 4-H Livestock Club.
Everybody smile, man. Yeah, there you go. Good job.
Good job.
Congratulations. And now Larry is going to read our overall organization winners.
Our overall adult award winners are, third place, the Alexander County Community Relation. The purpose of the committee is to develop a positive plan for conflict resolution based on discrimination, including but not limited to race, religion, nationality, disability, gender, and sexuality, etc., to implement a plan to help relieve community tensions and open the lines of positive communication. Programs and workshops were directed toward youth to help them with conflict resolution and help them make positive choices rather than destructive decisions. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. Congratulations. Oh. Our second place goes to Hidnight Community Helpers. The pantry was organized as an outreach to Hidnight Elementary and East Alexander Middle Schools. Not only does the pantry provide food for 1,000 individuals, but they provide Christmas, school supplies, and financial support to students and families that are underprivileged. They give out approximately 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of food a week. This organization has worked very hard, and we would like to congratulate them on a job well done. First place goes to 957 Mobile Cafe. The purpose of this organization is to give the residents of Alexander County a place to get a hot meal and a sense of hope. The 957 Mobile Cafe serves meals 4 days a week. In 2018, they served over 26,000 meals between the sit-down location and the mobile truck. Volunteers logged over 6,500 hours of volunteer time. This organization is a great asset to Alexander County. We would like to congratulate you and support you and say thank you for all your hard work and dedication in 2018.
Come in front of the podium.
You know, folks, while they're taking this picture, all these folks that volunteer and the hard work they do, you know, most communities could not get along without the volunteers that they have in those communities. And these folks standing up here, you can look at the number of hours that's been put in to make things happen for people that need assistance. And no greater gift than a man do than to help his neighbor or to help his community when they need something. And I just want to tell all these people that worked here tonight and everybody that's here, thank you very much for your hard work and dedication to the citizens of Alexander County. Thank you very, very much. You can smile, guys. It's all right. Light up.
You can leave in a minute.
Good job.
Well, it is free entertainment.
Right.
You know.
Good job.
I just want to say congratulations to all the winners and thanks to the commissioners for making this awards program possible. And we've just got a lot of great volunteers in our county we should be proud of. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll have our commissioners' reports. If anyone has anything they would like to share.
Gentlemen, I attended the transportation meeting last week, and there's several things that they're going to put on the agenda for us to try to improve some roads in the county. NC 16 South, they're really, they're going to look real hard to improving it from the city limits all the way over to Conover. There's about 3 or 4 intersections. Of course, one of them, the one at County Home Road, they're getting ready to start on it anytime. They still like a little bit of real estate they need to purchase in order to make it happen. And we also, they placed on there this time Tigtown Road and also Rink Dam Road to try to, for major improvements on it for modernization. So those are some things that's going on in the transportation.
Mr. Chairman, I attended a Vi Health meeting. Actually, they were at the Brushy Mountain Golf Course this week. Typically, we have to go to Asheville to do that meeting, myself and our county manager, Mr. Rick French. And there's a lot of changes that's going to be coming in some of the, Medicaid, Medicare. We're actually going to be in a different region, so I think we'll probably be looking at, in the future, of a full board, meeting where we can meet with them, get everybody kind of knowing what's coming on, but a lot of changes there that we're going to keep up with. Thank you.
I was fortunate to be involved in the community vision meeting at the golf course here last week. Very diverse group of people, room full, as a matter of fact, to sit down and go through things that are strengths and areas of needing improvement and areas for opportunities. And it was very refreshing to see a lot of people being involved that hadn't always been involved in some things before. So some new faces, some old faces, a good blend of both. And always brings promise to know that people want to sit down and talk and try to work towards a positive future for us. So it was very refreshing. Certainly a lot of great ideas, and hopefully some things will stem out of that meeting that goes into some longer range and shorter range planning for us. Also had the pleasure of being in several budget meetings. Vice Chairman Reese and myself, along with Mr. French, and a lot of requests coming in. And we're blessed with great people that operate in a very fiscally responsible manner and never take that lightly. But as some remember, last year we extended our budget to about its maximum, and our new growth is fairly minimal, 1% approximately. So you add that into the fact that the same things that everyone faces with insurance and benefits and things like that, the money's pretty tight. But just like your personal checkbook, the county checkbook operates the same way. When it reaches a zero balance, it's at a zero balance. And no matter sometimes how good something is, just because it's good or we like it doesn't always necessarily mean that we can get it. So some tough decisions are coming before us. Some things will obviously get funded, some things will not. But the things that don't certainly doesn't mean that they wasn't important. It just means that we didn't have the opportunity to afford them at this given time. So much of our money is mandated and what we have to do with it, and it's pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot of that money that we get to have a lot of choice with, but we strive to do what's best for most people. Sometimes we can set and look at things from a personal perspective and say, wow, I can't believe we don't want to do this, and we did that instead. Well, this is more important. Everything that we're hearing is really important, but it's competing, and it's not very linear at all because there's pieces that fly all over the place. So a lot of mouths to feed out of the same pot that's not really, really big. So we don't take this process lightly, and we know that there are some tough decisions. We know that everyone's not always going to agree with everything that we do, but we certainly would hope that you would be with us and support us, give us feedback, and when it's all said and done, we'll have done the very best that we feel like we can for the citizens of Alexander County. Any other commissioner reports? All right, at this time, I'd like to move for the adoption of our agenda.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. And now we'll move into our regular meeting. The first item on the agenda, certainly as always, is our public comment, which we have no public comment. Next, we have John Pilkington, Director of Planning and Development, for a public hearing on rezoning case 19-2 Jones MJ Automotive. You want to say something before we go into the public hearing?
Either way.
Okay, we'll go ahead, and then when
Okay.
you're ready, we'll go.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to the board. Tonight, we have rezoning case 19-2. The applicant is Mr. Michael Jones of MJ's Automotive. He's requesting that his property be rezoned from the current RA20 to highway commercial. This property is located on NC Highway 16 North and Walker Foundry Loop. It does have double frontage on both those roads. The total area is 3.49 acres. The land uses to the north are residential and commercial, and to the southeast and west are all residential. The zoning districts kind of mimic that. To the north, it's highway commercial and RA20, and to the southeast and west, it is all RA20. It's his intent to build and open an automotive repair shop on the property in the future. As noted in the discussion, the rezoning request is consistent with the 2008 Alexander County Comprehensive Plan, which identified this area as being designated for commercial use. So rezoning the parcel would be consistent with the adopted goals and policies in the plan, and long-term growth patterns suggest that NC Highway 16 North would develop into a commercial corridor. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on March 7th of 2019 and was unanimous in their recommendation that this rezoning request be approved. They noted that the request would be consistent with the future land use map in the 2008 Comprehensive Plan, and is also consistent with the goals and policies adopted in the plan, and that the request would not negatively impact the surrounding with regards to commercial development. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. I think Mr. Jones is here, if you have any questions for him as well.
Okay, well, let's, we've heard the item. Let's move to open the public hearing. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right, so we are now in public hearing, so Mr. Pilkington, if you'll take us further here.
Okay. We didn't have anyone come to the public hearing at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting either, so I did not have, I had one phone call from a gentleman asking just which property it was. But other than that, he didn't have any concerns or questions about it.
I think isn't there just to the south, Hidden Knot Auto has a place right there on the right-hand side if you're headed north? Isn't that
Yes, that's
Hidden Knot
correct.
Auto's
Across
just already
Across the highway.
Yeah.
commercial, you know,
Yeah.
ask if anybody in the audience.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this rezoning case 19-2, Jones MJ Automotive? If none said, then I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of closing the public hearing, please raise your right hand. We've heard the information, and the public hearing has been closed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the rezoning request.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we approve the rezoning request as it is consistent with the future land use map in the 2008 Comprehensive Plan, is also consistent with the goals and policies adopted in that plan, and this request will not negatively impact the surrounding with regards to commercial development.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize Mr. Rick French, who's going to share with us a public hearing opportunity for financing for the Alexander County Services Center.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight is advertised we're scheduled to have a public hearing to discuss a proposed financing contract under which the county would borrow approximately $2 million to pay for the acquisition and renovation of the new Alexander County Services Center. The proposed financing would be secured by a lien on the Alexander County Services building and its associated land. The county plans are subject to change based on the comments received at the public hearing tonight and the board's subsequent discussion and consideration. The county's entering into a financing is subject to obtaining approval from the North Carolina Local Government Commission. Would like also to say that this facility will house the Register of Deeds Office, Tax Office, Cooperative Extension, Soil and Water, Building Inspections, Environmental Health, Planning, GIS and Addressing, and Recreation departments for a total of about 40 employees. I'll be glad to answer any questions before we go into public hearing or during the public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Let's go ahead and have a motion to open public hearing.
Make a motion to open the public hearing for the financing request.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. The public hearing is now open. So does anyone have any questions or concerns regarding this action?
Mr. French, just a question, if you don't mind, please.
Yes, sir.
It says approximately $2 million that we will be looking at to finance. Is that the total cost of the facility, sir?
No, sir, we don't have all those costs in yet. That's sort of, still have some costs going on for that.
Okay. Do we have any clue as to when that might be?
It'll be pretty soon.
Okay.
We still haven't gotten the final bill, for example, from Hickory Construction.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I think we were kind of thinking, well, around 2.3, 2.5.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, but we're only talking about borrowing up to $2 billion.
And I know there's some change orders on that, so I assume that's why some of the final bills have not come in, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments?
I have questions and comments, but I'm not informed enough to ask them. That's the building that people are already moving into, so it's not finished. Like, it hasn't already been determined.
Can you come up to the microphone?
Yeah.
I'm Barbara Hayes, and I keep up a little bit, but I thought that's the offices that used to be Trio, right?
That's correct.
And so those, the tax office and everything, all of that hadn't been paid for in the initial.
No, the project is completed for all practical purposes. There's just bills that haven't been flowed to the county, just a few of them. This is just, what we're doing is wanting to finance this so we can basically place the money back in our fund balance is what we're about.
Okay, but those offices, they haven't moved, tax office, I know those haven't moved.
No, some of them have moved.
Okay.
Cooperative Extension, Soil and Water, Recreation have moved, for example, and some others will be moving next week.
Okay. So how many are still to go? I know that that's a big building, but they're going to be falling over each other.
That building's 20,000 square feet. There's plenty of room for those
Okay.
apartments.
I hope so, because when at tax season, it's going to be sort of crunchy, I've got to feel.
I remember the first time I went in that I'd been in the building a lot when it was a bank, 'cause I had a friend who worked there. But the first time Mr. French took me through to walk through the building in its entirety, the bank used just like a closet in terms of the whole space. The building is huge, going on back through there.
Well, maybe it was added on to after Trio moved out, but I remember when it was built. And it's big, but town is going to be really empty when you consolidate everything there. And that's on me and all these people that are here to be concerned, so go for it.
Well, to address the point of the building, I was a bag boy there during high school, Trio Food Store, so it is a big building. I've been through it a couple times already, and I would guarantee you that every place that goes into it will have as much, if not more, space than what they've had in the other locations. And I think it's gonna be a pretty big plus for the town, because people are gonna be coming there to get permits. You no longer have to drive almost to Hickory, to the south end of, 16, to get your, permits and your planning. And to the tune of going inside, there is, drive up, and those tubes are connected, correct, Mr. French?
Yes, sir.
So there will be a drive up, for that also, so.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions or concerns? If not, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing for the
So-
financing project.
So moved.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Public hearing is now closed, and now entertain a motion to,
Chairman?
yes, sir? You wanna do-
There's a resolution that has to be introduced, and we have someone here to do that.
Okay,
Attorney Bob Jessup is
so
here.
that goes before.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to introduce Bob Jessup from Sanford Holzhauser Law for a resolution supporting the application to the Local Government Commission to approve financing agreement 2019 Alexander County Services Center project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name's Bob Jessup. I'm a lawyer with a law firm, Stanford Holzhauser. Our offices are in Carrboro, and it's been my great pleasure to work with Alexander County on many projects over the years, and I'm happy to be here once again. The resolution we're asking you to consider tonight is the next formal step in proceeding with this financing. The Local Government Commission requires the board, after the public hearing, to adopt a resolution essentially approving giving a preliminary approval to move forward with the financing, to make these findings of fact that the LGC will be looking for, and then authorizing staff to move forward from here. This resolution's in a form that I've used on other Alexander County and other projects, but of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions. After tonight, we'll be soliciting proposals from banks to provide this financing. At your first meeting in May, we'll have another resolution where we will ask you to approve formally the winning bidder in the details of the financing. It's our current goal to have the financing closed and the money back in the county's hands, certainly by the end of May, probably more like the 22nd or 23rd. I'll be happy to answer any questions about any aspect of the financing. Otherwise, what we're asking for tonight is for the approval of the resolution as presented.
And I'll just mention one thing, we're looking into financing, so we have not made that decision yet, so we'll have to get the interest rate and expenses, fees, that sort of thing. So this is just a preliminary search for appropriate financing.
Other questions? At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution supporting the application.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution, the application resolution.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Jessup. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll now recognize Manager Rick French to discuss a scheduled public hearing for the Consolidated Human Services Board potential.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to move forward with the notice of public hearing for the Board of Commissioners. They'll schedule a public hearing on May the 6th, 2019 at 6 p.m. here. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive citizen input regarding the Board of Commissioners assuming direct control of the activities of the Board of Health, Social Services Board, and Senior Center Advisory Committee by becoming the Alexander County Consolidated Human Services Board. The public is also advised that action may follow the public hearing in the form of consideration of a resolution to abolish the Board of Health, Social Services Board and the Senior Center Advisory Committee, and conferring all powers, responsibilities, and duties of these boards upon the Board of Commissioners as the Consolidated Human Services Board. An advisory committee consisting of members from the Board of Health, Social Services Board, and Senior Center Advisory Committee will also be appointed at a later date. But at this time, to move forward with the public hearing on May the 6th, it's appropriate to consider taking action on this.
Entertain a motion to schedule such public hearing.
Make a motion to schedule the public hearing for the Consolidated Human Services Board.
Have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. And next, we have County Manager Rick French on a resolution authorizing the sale of surplus property.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution authorizing the sale of surplus property, that property being the old chamber building located in downtown. This is a resolution that's required for us to consider accepting sealed bids on sealed bids on Friday, May the 3rd. All bids will be delivered to the county manager's office. We'll open the bids, and they'll be reported to the commissioners at their May 6th meeting. There is a 5% bid deposit is also required, and there's some other stipulations, but it's tonight, the process begins by adopting this resolution.
Entertain a motion for the resolution to sell the old chamber building.
So move.
Have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. And next, we'll have County Manager Rick French on a North Carolina Department of Transportation Secondary Road System Waiver Resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative DOT has advised us to help us with the process of adding roads to the state system. The enclosed resolution should be considered, and it concerns bringing roads to DOT's secondary road system require individual approval of the Alexander County Commissioners. The road meets the minimum standards and criteria established by the North Carolina Transportation Division of Highways. And it also, in the resolution, it points out that it's been determined that the commissioners, they waive their approval authority for each request by passing this resolution, and the commissioners approve this. Automatically, the roads they consider accepting those roads that meet the minimum standards and criteria into the secondary road system. This will be the quickest way to address that.
So basically what we're doing is putting everything directly to the state,
Yes, sir.
which is the very best way to do it, because counties don't build roads, we don't maintain roads, and we do not want that responsibility.
That's correct.
That's about 30 cents on your tax rate, property taxes. Went through this about 8 years ago when the county and state were trying to get counties to take over roads, so we definitely won't have anything to do with roads.
For sure.
Nope.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the North Carolina DOT Secondary Road System Waiver Resolution.
And I second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimously passes. Mr. French will now share with us budget ordinance amendments numbers 34 through 38.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Budget Amendment 34 is to increase the sheriff's office budget to purchase equipment for the new law enforcement vehicles that were approved in the 2018-2019 budget. This additional equipment will be purchased by using insurance claim proceeds from a law enforcement vehicle that was wrecked and deemed a total loss. Budget Amendment number 35 is a transfer of funds for group insurance costs for 2 employees originally budgeted in planning instead of inspections. Budget Amendment number 36 is to budget for the expenditure of the final installment payment from the October 2015 sale of the Home Health Agency. Budget amendment number 37 is to increase the medical examiner budget for estimated invoices for death investigations and autopsies for the remainder of the 2018-2019 budget year. And budget amendment number 38 is to adjust the budget for the reinstatement of longevity payments to all eligible employees with 5 years or more of service to the county. As you recall, in the 2018-2019 budget, the longevity policy was reinstated, and I'll answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. French,
Yes, sir.
on the sale of the home health care, would that be the last one, or is it already, they've already paid us for everything?
Yes, sir. We received our last payment.
Is it? Okay, because I knew it's been a while since we sold it,
It has been.
several years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve budget ordinance amendments 34 through 38.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve budget ordinance 34 through 38.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please note by raising your right hand. Motion passes. And Mr. French will now share with us board appointments and reappointments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reappoint Guy Curley as tax administrator for 4 years, Doug Fox as tax assessor for 4 years, and reappoint Scott Westmoreland to the Health Board for 3 years.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the appointments as listed.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, sir. And county manager's report will now be heard.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things to bring to your attention. We have received the signed leases from Duke Energy for Dusty Ridge access area and Wittenberg access area. That we're working with Duke to schedule a meeting this month so we can go over some of the details about the plans for both those parks. Saturday, April the 13th will be our Rocky Fest and at Rocky Face Park. There's rock climbing, music, food, trail races, vendors, and just lots of things going on that day. So it's free to the public, and so it's real important to support our park. And again, it's April 13th, not October. So also enclosed is, since several of you were not on the board at the time, the lease with the Rotary Club for the performance stage was adopted. That is in your packet. The performance stage, which has not been constructed yet, that lease is, that memorandum is in your packet. This is county property. Basically what happens, the Rotary Club builds the stage, and then once it's completed, it's turned over to the commissioners to operate, and other things are moving on the property, so just wanted to bring that to your attention. You also have a county sales tax revenue report for the budget year through March. We've collected almost $2.8 million of regular sales tax, which is right at where we should be at this time of year, maybe just a little bit above that. And we budgeted $4,698,000 in new sales taxes. We've collected $888,108. That too is right on the budget number that where we should be at this time of year, which is $1,521,750. New sales tax is running just a little over 5% more than last year. Regular sales tax is running just a little over 3%. Not a big increase, but it is a little bit more. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, unless someone has questions.
Any questions regarding the commissioner, or the manager's report? All right, at this time, we will adjourn to closed session through North Carolina. Oh, the consent agenda, I'm sorry. Everyone had an opportunity to look at the consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
All in favor? Now, we're going to adjourn through North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A, 5 and 6, contractual and personnel. We will re-adjourn only to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes.